4-6.
We're live. I think we just told the whole world too. I don't care.
What's up, guys?
Oh, we gotta go.
Line 6 booth.
Line 6
Got
booth.
Chad.
Hey.
We're gonna flip the screen around.
Flip it around. Ah.
Yeah.
And feel free and tell if you want to shine it around.
Can I walk around the room quick?
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
You gonna stay here for a second?
Hey, put him. We got. I'm not using the camera. We're live, and Jamie Trevino will be using our live camera, and I have somebody. Hey. So yeah, Jamie's gonna walk around and he'll answer for me.
No, I won't.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, wait. You mean chat?
Yeah, there'll be a chat that pops up.
I'm an idiot though,
You
so
don't have to.
I'll put a thumbs up on everything.
Oh, no, you don't have to answer. Just put your thumb out in front.
Right.
Or not. Just ignore the chat.
Chris, did you find it? The stream?
Yeah, I'm putting it up right now. I'm looking for you.
All right. Well, in a second here, when this thing blows up, I'm gonna walk around the booth. Is that okay? For a second. Spider 5. Amplify. I tried a shuriken today. That was pretty cool. That was a good time.
Yeah, this should be epic.
I can let him know it's in. And that's just the camera.
There's a breeding thing, so after I saw one, I see
Which is funny because the battery tech is up. You updated batteries. I'm using Kepler.
Argentina.
That's right. So rock sound and then loud.
No se va a cobrar ahorita para el final.
Oh, there he is right there.
What'd I do?
Look, is that you right there?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like Inception or something when you look at yourself? How long does it
We're
take?
gonna break
there
the
we
internet.
go.
This stream is going down.
Wow,
So,
there's
somebody
such a
else put the
lag.
stream up,
There's
like
a
in front of
nutso
his
lag.
phone.
He's looking over his shoulder.
It's got to be
Oh.
like 10 seconds of lag.
Yeah, there's always that.
Maybe 15.
Oh. So what are we seeing now? What happened before? It's another Spaceballs reference. Right now? Is this what happened? Is this happen again?
It's like Back to the Future and
You
Groundhog Day.
don't get the.
I haven't seen
You don't get the
Spaceballs. I haven't
You're
seen.
too young.
No, I haven't
mail you
watched
a
that.
copy,
Like
man.
I think I like watched
Maybe
it.
15.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oh, we'll do the video.
Now it's
The
gonna
video.
get messed up.
We'll have to
And,
get Spaceballs in front of you.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna put that on the to-do list.
TV Classic 30.
Basically,
It's like Star Wars,
They can't
but
figure, it's a Star Wars, but it's a Mel Brooks, but they can't figure out like where people are or whatever, so they like go movie, like just they fast forward to the part where they're at. And where we're at, we're at the part right now. We're right here.
Grab a drink. Really? Are we that tired that we're not going to go to the
I actually wanted
Feel free.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
$1,000 extra bucks.
Hey, you're welcome. I figured, you know.
about $1,000 in the fund.
Well, you know I will.
that's awesome. Chris, can I have something,
Oh, of course.
please?
Right after I get mine. What are you drinking?
Whatever you're drinking.
Okay.
As long as
We
it's.
can get it now?
So tequila shot stranger.
Oh, yeah.
Guy, man.
This stream is going down. I have to hold this for 12 more minutes. Literally, yeah. I'm gonna show I think I should show him like some of the stuff we saw today. This doesn't look too happy though. What else?
You got to meet Kenny, the Elton John impersonator.
That's right. That's right. At first, I thought it was him.
It's funny, I sent a picture to my sister of the impersonator. She goes, "That's Kenny." How do you know?
This guy was insane. He's like slapping everything, and he's slapping his guitar a lot, and he has like a tambourine on there. He was amazing though. That's correct. That's correct. This is the hardest. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
What's the best part?
One of them do that but
It'll cover up my stench.
my business.
Yeah, very cool.
So,
Yeah, sweet, very
do a
cool.
lot of like corporate style stuff, so fundraisers for synagogues.
Yeah, sweet. Very nice.
Actually, we were on the extreme
Good day.
that's kind of
Do you happen to have extra room in your back?
that's kind of a faith-based.
Yeah, I think I shouldn't have brought it. It's too dark in here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I just
Supposed to be.
he's here.
Nice.
So what's the whole story with that?
Yeah.
The popcorn thing. I've heard about it for like a year or two or something.
Oh, Chad Husky sends down some popcorn. He comes down too, and it's good. Chad Husky's Carolina popcorn is fantastic. Chad's Carolina corn. I think Chad's Carolina corn is good.
I'll need to give that a try.
Don't let anybody steal my on
Nice plug.
The other stuff I can probably get again, but the on song.
Okay, all right.
I love that. You gotta shoot that sound.
Deal's a deal.
Dude, that's gonna be one of those things we're gonna have to check out.
G. Anderson, you got to come over and check out the Line 6 booth, man.
Get back up when
It's cool over here. It's actually cool in this room. It feels good.
It's one of the few rooms that is cool.
Right.
I'm still freaking out on how awesome they are with these.
Is that Alec? Is that Alec Lee? Is that Alec Lee?
That was the start. Those were the early guys.
Guys, straight from the tab.
so like the spiders had that.
Yeah.
They don't have a that's why they were what they were.
So a lot of guys who use, but they weren't FR.
Not at all.
When they unveiled the new tuner, right?
That's terrible.
And you can also link it to
Yeah, I was wondering where he got that shirt at. I love the Gear Page.
The gear page.
Yeah. That's a kind of a well-known, like a well-kept secret too. With like, there's more activity there. Like in terms of like conversation.
Yeah, the group is more community-based,
Right. That one's more like,
information-based.
right. Yeah. It'd be cool if I could have a chair for just this.
You know, the thing is, as I brought gimbals and GoPros and all this crap,
There you go. All right, guys, we have like literally 4 minutes until we start this event here, kick it off. So if you want to stick around for a little bit, wait it out with us. The only reason I have this on right now is because we want to make sure there are no technical issues. We have some film rolling on this one, but we wanted a live stream too because of things that you will find out shortly. Yeah. No, you got to talk to Paul about that amp I just told you about. That switches and like
That's really cool.
yeah, like these guys are gonna see that technology soon enough, and they don't know what I'm talking about right now. You gotta see it to believe it. It's insane. People are gonna get so mad. Oh my goodness!
$20. I can't ask that $20.
Just grab a handful, put it in your pocket.
And the eBay store is open.
5 stars. Just sell them on your store. That'd be terrible.
that would be terrible. We have a limited quantity.
20 Honestly, the right price for your price to start selling in the room.
$5.
Wait, no longer made. About half hour. Yeah, it's oh, I think you'll be fine.
You have a train? No way.
Like
The bad
train
part?
to back home?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yesterday I drove it on my own and doing it again.
So that's why you have your back now. Wow.
All these catwalks
Uber is like so I don't have to worry about paying for a parking spot, you know. Yeah, so some NAMM tip is Uber or Lyft or whatever your preference is, you know. You always gotta be ready, Chris. You always gotta be ready with the horns. All right, guys, we got about a minute left. Thank you. I called the ball.
Let's see. Aaron Short. Did you see this? Did you see how that happen? It just came right into my head.
Like a beer commercial.
Aaron, I feel like I'm on the Truman Show. Okay, so we got Aaron Short, and he's got a giveaway. So go to Aaron Short Music. Aaron Short Music.
Yeah. I'm feeling great now.
And so
I still have all the
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, can you scoot over like a little bit? Like a foot? Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yep, they're away.
Babysit.
Good evening. Good evening. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to our second annual Helix User Community event. I'd like you to grab a beverage. I'd like you to grab some food.
There's food?
I'd like you tonight to meet somebody that you know, but you don't know.
Yeah.
Because put a face to a name and connect. Connect even more so than we do on the community. And have some fun. By definition, a community is about we and not me. There would not be a community without everybody who participates in this amazing group. Absolutely. You can do anything you want. But at this time, I would like to reach out and thank a couple of people who took an idea and gave it some life. And as a group, this is a suggestion, but from this day forward, I'd like to refer to them as our founding fathers. Chad Boston.
Hell yeah!
Chris Saraga. Let's show them our thanks, guys. So how's our community doing?
Yeah.
1 year ago, I stood in front of you and I was amazed that we had reached 6,000 reactions. And that's about 1,300 per day. So this is not a community. This is a living, breathing thing. It's like the beast out front. This is like the SVT. So for that, I would like to thank you. So thank you. So, I don't know if you can see it, there's a table out here with a bunch of junk on it. And it's really not junk. What you have are the component parts of a helix. And recipe. It's how do you make a helix. And that recipe has over 2,800 parts in it, which is really quite amazing. It's a complex thing. But if you lay the parts out on a table, it's just a little bit of plastic, a little bit of silicon, a little bit of rubber, a little bit of metal. There are some resistors and DSP and capacitors. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a musician. It's one of my great handicaps of working at Line 6. But last night I was out front at the Hilton, and the guy was throwing guitar picks out, and one hit me in the chest and almost fell in my pocket. I thought, that was pretty cool. I'll never in my life ever get to do that. But I can toss capacitors.
Yeah!
It's off the bucket list now. When you
got
do
it?
a bunch of disparate
Is it a flux
parts
capacitor?
that, when they're separated, have no meaning, and you bring them together for a common purpose, you can get some really amazing results. They become a system. Actually, they become a community. They're a community of parts that do something when working together. Some of the parts provide support, and some of them provide strength, and some of them provide information, just like our community. It's really great. You need all the parts to work together for it to come together as a product. If you take out, well, I should have saved one of them, but if you take out anything, even a 1 cent resistor, you risk that the system will not work at all. So reliance on every person and every component becomes critical to the success of our system or community. That's why when we work together, we get magic. And when these parts all come together, we get this. It gives us the ability to share our thoughts, our ideas, and most importantly, it allows us to share our vulnerabilities. When people share their vulnerabilities in an environment where there's high degrees of trust, it's just an amazing rally. This community rallies to help each other. Even when somebody posts something that is not a really smart question, people are not rude, they're like, let me help you. Because when we help each other, the community gets stronger. It's really quite amazing. Most of all, it gives us great camaraderie. We become something better than us individually. We become a family. 7 months ago, my dad passed away. But he was always great for sayings and quotes, and he had 2 or 3 favorites, and one of them was, none of us is as good as all of us. I cannot think of a better quote that describes this group. Personally, I'm humbled to be part of this environment and this community. I make a personal commitment to it every night, every day, and I do it because there's genuine empathy, care, and loving, and I love being part of things like that. We at YGG Line 6 are also grateful and thankful for everything that you do, everything that you've done, and everything I know you'll do in the future. So for that, we would like to say to you, all of the members of our team, thank you to this community. We are so grateful to you. Thank you. So I lied, not 90 minutes, but I'd now like to hand off to Frank Rashad, who will now give you specific examples about how this community shares, works, and takes care of itself. So for that, thank you very much. Have a wonderful time tonight, and thank you for everything that you do.
My voice is going, so I'm going to try to go as quickly as I can so I don't lose it. First, let me just say, it's an honor to be a part of this group. It really is. I am humbled every day by what you do for each other and what you do for us. Every single day when you go on the Facebook page, you see questions, constant flow of questions, and instantly there are answers, and not just one answer, multiple answers, and people will stay with the person until they solve their problem, whatever it is. It is really inspiring. And you help me all the time. There are too many examples to pick one, but I tried. A couple months ago, we had an artist in the UK who was about to play Wembley Stadium the next day, had a problem with his helix. I went on the Facebook group and posted, asked if there were any UK members who would lend us their helix for 2 days. And within 5 minutes, we had 5 people willing to lend us a helix. Woo! Five people willing to lend us a helix and drive it anywhere we needed it to be, which is just unbelievable. They didn't know who it was for, why I was asking, they just did it. And that is really what this community is about. It truly is amazing. I could go on forever about how you guys help each other and help us. But suffice it to say, the good that comes out of this group is incredible, and it's spreading. Right now there are no less than 20 dedicated Facebook groups around the world that have been started and are thriving based on this, including the original, it's 30,000 people, just to name a few: Helix Praise and Worship, Helix Metal, Helix Poland, Helix Italy, Helix Germany. I could go on and on. I try to monitor as many as I can, but it's growing very quickly. And beyond how you take care of all of each other and our customers, you are our most valuable partner. When I say we listen to everything you say, I'm not exaggerating. Your names, your ideas come up constantly in project meetings, in sprint reviews. It is, with our support team, we talk about you like your family, because you really are family. This is truly a collaboration. This group really has become part of us. Look around the booth in the signage. You're going to see names like Peter Ham, Jason Sedites, Glenn DeLune, Ben Vesco. All of these guys came from this group and are now contributing, directly to the development of the product. It's really impressive. We have members here tonight who have flown halfway around the world to be here. Johnny Lee. Yeah! From the UK. We have Mr. Eric Broadbent and his son Eric Jr. And of course, they run the Helix Hour, which is just the most entertaining show I've ever seen. I look forward to every single episode, and I'm not alone. I hear that constantly. So I won't take any more time from Eric, who you really want to hear. But let me say this. You are in great hands with Eric. With Igor, with Ben, with Sam, who you all know because they're all part of the family and on the Facebook. They are the best I've worked with in my 25 years of career, hands down. They have the same passion all of you have for making music, and they have incredible pride in the product, and all of you, its users. So thank you again, guys.
I'm done. So everybody get it out of their system right now and do the aww. So you don't have to stare at the end when you didn't use it. All right, ready? Ready? Yeah. Am I in the way of the screen? It's actually this. So 280 has 8 new amp models.
Yeah. What?
8 new amp models. We're a wireless company. Why am I tethered to this? We have 7 new effects models, 16 new features, and there's something significant about that number, and a bunch of other improvements that we're going to get into. So right away.
Nice.
3 channels of Fender Tweed, and this one, not everything you're going to see tonight is finished, but this one is. No, this one isn't Sam. Where's Sam? This one isn't, but the next one is. So the Grammatica, you guys saw this. If you know anything about John Grammatico's amps, they're awesome. They're really, really cool. He lives in LaGrange, Texas. What's interesting about these two is everybody here will now be able to talk about. He lives in Austin. I thought he was in LaGrange.
That's just for effect.
So what may be interesting to some is that we have this classic Tweed, and then we have a modern interpretation of a Tweed. So going back and forth, you'll be able to hit a foot switch and toggle between the two, and maybe embrace some of the nuances between the multiple generations of a similar type of circuit. So we thought that was a lot of fun. So there are 4 channels of this amp. This thing is awesome. We're only promising the last one for 280, and was it the Friedman where we had to split it up across multiple updates? The other 3 channels will come as well, but they'll likely be the next update. The Rev guys are awesome, by the way. Go by their booth. Super cool dudes. This is obviously, pretty obvious. Some of our bass players. I'm a bass player as well. As far as EQs,
yes,
Jason, this is for you. And this, actually, is because of you. I mean, it's the most obvious thing in the world that's somehow escaped us. And Jason's like, I'm doing this crazy trick with the crossover block because you don't have a shelving EQ. I'm like, holy crap, we don't have a shelving EQ? That's insane! So I'm like, Sam, can we make a shelving EQ? He's like, yeah, I'll have it tomorrow. So we have another EQ as well. We have a tilt EQ. If you're not familiar with a tilt EQ, it's effectively a 1-knob EQ. So instead of trying to go in and if your tone is a little dark or a little bright, instead of like, oh, I'm going to mess with the presence and the treble, and now that I have to mess with the bass, it's 1 knob where you're effectively shifting the frequency response like this. This particular one lets you choose the crossover frequency that it's actually pivoting on, but if you think of it like a tone control, except it's very subtle, like 6 dB, you're very close.
Sweet.
Moving on, Zen Drive, which you guys saw. This one was not leaked. We got a King Tone.
Yes!
Can I tell the weird story about this, Ben?
Yeah, why not?
So, we've had this model from the beginning, but the original product manager for Helix left the company and took his King of Tone, so we didn't have a chance to do the A/B listening tests. So we're like, well, oh no. And Brandon came and reminded me that we have a King of Tone. I'm like, we do? Who do we know that has a King of Tone? And our illustrious, Jason Lynn, our representative from Austin, Texas, says, I have one, I'll bring it. So we have it, all we have to do is A/B it, and if at the most, we have to tweak it a little bit. So, you guys saw this. It's not the V2, it's the V1, so they got that wrong. So we love our bass players. Speaking of which,
yes,
Scrambler.
Of course, Ampeg.
And this is my favorite.
Nice.
This was another one that we had in the pocket for a long time, and there were just a couple little things that we just couldn't quite finish, and now we're able to do that.
Nice.
So I'm going to speak really briefly about Helix Core. I don't want to get too deep because it was never meant to be a user-facing concept. However, it ties into the sheer quantity of updates we're able to provide in 2.8. So back in 2011, when we started working on Helix, we had a different team. It was a very different company. And when Helix native plugin came out, we realized to really do this justice, we needed to tweak the architecture and add some things and subtract some things and do things differently. And it went so well, we decided instead of basing HXFX and eventually HX Stomp on the original architecture, let's base it on this new architecture, which we just call Core internally. It's not a architecture term, it's not supposed to be a thing, it's just what we say internally. The original 3 products, Helix Floor, Helix Rack / Control, and Helix LT, we call internally Power Trio. So if you hear people talking about that, that's what we're talking about. So what we had to do in the last, 9 months, Igor? Is that how long we've been working on backporting it?
I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah. So we've been taking the new architecture and then applying it to the original 3 products. The advantage here is that instead of having to code a new feature multiple times, we do it once, and barring several bugs that have to be fixed, it just magically appears in everything. So we're able to iterate and able to get features much more quickly. And quite a few of these features were done in the last week because Helix Core was finished.
Igor!
It's kind of frightening. I would get pings in the middle of the night saying, this feature's done. Change from Class A to Class AB in the tube section of the amp remotely. And again, they can be assigned to snapshots or foot switches or be recalled with presets. So that's why we're calling it the missed connections update, because we missed connecting this to Helix, and we missed connecting power cab to Helix. We missed being able to do the string volume with Helix and that sort of thing. Next, so pedal edit mode. Not enough people use pedal edit mode. You can edit your presets with your feet, people. I do. Except you haven't been able to edit your input and output parameters. And now that we have all these new input and output parameters like Variax and Power Cab and DT, you can now edit that stuff with your feet while you're playing. Which means that instead of having to go pling pling, oh that high E is a little low, you go pling pling, perfect save. Right? Woo. So we've added momentary control to amp control, CC toggle, and CV toggle. So if you want to switch channels on your amp and then switch back by letting go, you can.
Nice.
This is kind of cool if you're a snapshot guy and you really want snapshots to not be controlled by, or you want blocks to not be controlled by snapshots. I want this always on, or I want to be able to manually turn it off. I don't want snapshot to control it. You can now do that on a per block basis. Oh wow! As an extra bonus, some people have said, wait, I want to add a block, but now I have to turn it off in every snapshot. As a bonus, what happens is, if you just turn snapshot bypass off, turn it back on, now it's off in every snapshot.
Nice.
What took you so long?
Igor!
If you have a 10-tap tempo.
Wow!
Thank you.
I'm gonna
to buy you a beer.
Yes. It's obvious now, it's not a surprise. This is something I've been bugging the organization to do for years and years and years and years.
Buy a dog?
Igor got it working, well, Igor and Kevin Duca are another one of our system architects got it working on most of them. I didn't know if it was going to work, got it working in the Batcave about an hour ago. It's so cool! It is so cool. All right, you ready? So I've been controlling this entire keynote with my feet, by the way. Right? So well, what I want to do is I'm going to escape out of keynote. I'm going to maybe switch to YouTube. I'm going to play Paul Hindmarsh's video. Holy crap, that's fast. Let me slow him down. All right, cool. All right, I think I got it. Let me speed him up. My guitar's too loud. Let me turn him up so I can hear him a little bit better. Oh, now he's too loud. Oh, wait, I missed that part. Let me go back a little bit. All right, I'm done. So I'm going to switch back to my keynote, go to full screen.
Wow.
Of this is that any foot switch in Helix, or if you assign it to an instant command in the command center and then recall a snapshot, can spit out any key command to your computer. So your computer will see Helix as a keyboard. So PowerPoint is a funny whatever kind of thing. The obvious application would be a DAW. So if you're in the studio and you don't have an engineer sitting in the mix position, you can sit here, oh, that takes sucked, delete, go back, restart. Nope, sucked, delete, restart. So now, it's not just DAWs, it's not just PowerPoint, it's literally every piece of Mac and PC software that has a keyboard shortcut can now be controlled. So I want everybody to say, take that line 6, Eric was right. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
take that line 6, Eric was right.
That's insane. Oh, I was supposed to do the show and tell. All right. So HX Unity for Helix Native, what this does is this allows all Helix and HX products to effectively be share presets.
Oh.
So it doesn't mean that you can get amps into HX effects. It doesn't mean that HX Stomp gets more than 6 blocks yet. What it does mean is that instead of having to individually copy blocks over and then lose your snapshot information and that sort of stuff, if you want to take a Helix preset and it's 6 blocks or fewer, you can drag it straight into HX Stomp window.
Wow.
Nice.
If you happen to have a Helix preset that has 9 effects and it spans over to the other one, you can drag it straight into an HX effects preset. So the promise of the studio to stage and the fact that we have HX Stomp users here and HX effects users and plugin users, we want you guys to be able to share stuff back and forth, and that's really, really important, both in studio, to stage, and back. And so that's HX Unity. And the way this works is via hardware compatibility modes. So in the plugin, you can turn Helix Native into whatever hardware you happen to have. So if you have HX Stomp, it will have all the HX Stomp presets in the plugin. So you can say, I have an HX Stomp, done, and now the signal flow is HX Stomp's signal flow. Likewise with HX effects. And the preset list will populate with all of the factory presets from HX Stomp, and the model list will then reflect the model list of that particular SKU. So there are some obvious caveats. So if you drag something in and it's like, oh, sorry, this isn't going to work, it'll tell you at least. And so you're like, okay, let me delete this thing, now it works. The other big thing for somebody like myself, who's a big studio guy, the main product I use is Helix Native. So I have Helix Rack as a front end to go into Logic, but you can now turn off hardware compatibility mode, which means now the amount of blocks that you can use in the plugin is now limited by your computer and not by our arbitrary limit. So if you wanted to run 32 amps in a row, and your brand new $8,000 iMac Pro lets you do it, you do you.
You do you, boo.
Undo, redo in Helix Native. Right now I think it's 32 steps, don't quote me. Crap, I'm on video. And this is something that was always kind of hinted. Helix Native is now $99 for everybody. HX Stomp, HX Effects,
Wow.
Helix LT, Helix floor, Helix rack. And again, this is important because we want you guys to share presets. We want you guys to be able to make songs without the hardware connected. We want you guys to make music, and you want it to be...
Family is beyond any expectation we had when we started this 3 years ago. None of this would be possible without an absolute partnership between the Helix user group and Line 6, the great people at Line 6. Let's give them a round of applause. We supported each other along the way, cared about each other, brought together by love of music and of being the absolute best we can be together. And none of us would have this been possible without the wonderful brothers and sisters from the Line 6 Helix family group and from the fantastic folks from Line 6. Thank you all for being my friend.
I'm truly honored by the founding father thing. I'm kind of speechless a little bit. As you know, that's not usually the case. So, first off, I really wanted to thank Line 6 and Joe and Frank and Eric and the team. And the thing is, what's really important about it is the authentic family. See, part of the name is family. And that's really the important key. And it's about how we treat each other. We want to treat each other like brothers and sisters. And yes, brothers and sisters get on each other's nerves sometimes. So it's about forgiveness. It's about all these things. It brings us together as a family over a wonderful piece of gear. So, so I'll be authentic. It's a little emotional. It's been a 3.5 year journey for me, and I still remember about a week after I started the group, and that I did a 7-hour horrible live stream. I still remember this. And this was back when the Helix launched. And from that point forward,